keep that in there because we're okay. Here's what's going to happen. I'm not going to give the company a plug, but these are milk chocolate pretzels. And my son Elijah, who's in town, picked them up from the airport. He had these left in my car, melted, and then fused back together as only cheap chocolate can. And I've been trying to get at these, and I can't. Michael Dean came over, as jacked as a human being could be. He couldn't get one pretzel. And then, Tori, you tried to get Excalibur, and you could not take one pretzel off of this tease.
No, it's freezing.
But it's tags. That's how you want them. They were in the refrigerator. That's how the Lord intended them to be served. And it's a rough way to start a Friday, but I am here with my girls. Welcome to Daytime Talk After Dark. My name is Al Jackson, but that's unimportant. What is important is I'm joined by Tori, hopefully for the whole 30.
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, so we can tell last week, you weren't feeling good, so I just have my eye on you.
A little hypoglycemic. We're fine.
Mm-hmm. And I've done that before.
Yeah.
Erica, who is waiting in the wings. She's got that, I know a couple CPR tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should know CPR. I do not.
Yes, that'd be nice if we all did.
I could pray for you, though.
There we go.
But I am actually, I am very good under pressure. Last week, I was with my two nieces. They are 3 and 6. I have other nieces, but those were the two that were with us. And my brother dropped them off at my house, and I was like, yeah, you and his wife, my sister-in-law, go have a great day. I got the girls, no problem. Take them to lunch because, as we know, every 3 and 6-year-old wants what for lunch?
McDonald's?
Like chicken nuggets?
No.
Chick-fil-A?
Sushi, dumplings, and oysters.
No.
So yes.
Damn.
And
it's a cultured 3-year-old.
That's what they want. Just a little side note: they did grow up close to a beach
Royalty?
where they were. Before they moved to Denver, they were very walking distance to a beach that my brother was able to go get oysters straight out of the ocean, and he would shuck them on the beach. And so they think that oysters are free. And so I was like, but you know what?
Sounds
I'm
like
gonna
a
be
Rihanna song.
Yeah. I'm gonna be cool, and it's cool. I'm cool. Go through lunch, and they had their sushi and oysters, and they needed to go to the bathroom after.
Oh, no.
And so we're in one stall. It was one of those single use. And the 3-year-old goes to use the restroom, and she starts screaming bloody murder. And I could not figure out what the problem was. She kept saying it hurt, which is concerning. And then she said, it burns. It burns. And I was like, well, that is very alarming. And then my next thought was, did you touch the green stuff? And she said, yes. And I said, did you touch your pee-pee? And she said, yes. And so I don't know if anybody else has ever Googled wasabi vagina, but I have.
That's my band's name.
I'm
But I
familiar with
have.
punk rock. Yeah.
And let me tell you, for the next 3.5 hours, I was running milk baths.
Oh my God.
And giving her water and bowls of ice cream in the bathtub because I had to make sure the poor baby was not on fire.
Oh my God.
But when I called her parents, because when something like that happens, you immediately call the parents, right? My sister-in-law responds, I don't know what's wrong with her today. Earlier, she ate a jalapeno. Oh, so the call is coming from inside and outside the house.
Yeah.
So that was my week, or a week ago, last Friday, where I was running triage and all the situations with this incident that will no doubt go down in history, and we will never allow her to forget it. Because I put the wasabi down, I had moved it out of the way, and when I went to clean up the table, I turned my back for all of 3 seconds, and she had stuck her finger or hand in the wasabi. So be careful.
Even though that worked out horribly for her, that's still an opulent day.
Yeah, a
for
milk
young kid.
bath?
Yeah, what happened? I took a milk bath and was fed ice cream. Right
After oysters.
Right after sushi and
Right after oysters.
Yeah. What'd you do today? I struggled through life again.
Yeah.
That's a pretty great day. Shout
You gotta
out.
clip that. That's
Yes. All right.
That's
well,
fine.
that story, speaking of
Wow.
the younger generations and how different they are, I told you guys from day one, I now know friends of mine that have kids that if you offer them, like, do you want to get some McDonald's? No. Do you want some, I can get some pizza on my way? No, I'm good. I'm like, I've never.
They want like sugarfish.
Or
sushi
or if they don't want it, they just don't get it. My whole thing, pretty much my entire life, and then it was increased tenfold by being a broke comic, was I hoard food.
Yeah.
When I would go to nice events, I'm stuffing chicken fingers. Like as a young comic, I'd be stealing stuff because I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna eat again, And so like, it's so weird that there's a generation of kids that are just like, I'm straight. You're not hungry? No. Well, we can just stop. You don't want this candy? I'm straight.
And remember how McDonald's and Burger King, they were the thing to get when as a kid.
It was
the thing.
McDonald's
oh
was such a big
God.
deal. If you got it at school, people would like be looking at you differently
All
the rest
day.
of the
Like
day.
that's the guy.
Yeah, it'd be
That's
like The Rock
guy.
came to your classroom.
Yeah, totally.
It was a big deal. So shout out to this different generation. Speaking of different generations, Tori, did you know that Gen Z is staring at you?
I did.
Does that give you anxiety?
It does. It's called the Gen Z stare, Al, and it's taking place where usually verbal communication was supposed to take place.
That's right. Let's look at the video, and then I want to hear your thoughts.
I'm a millennial who received the Gen Z stare recently, and this is how that interaction went. Hi, I'm Riley. I'm Hallie's mom. Thank you so much for agreeing to teach my daughter golf. She is so excited. Yeah. Okay, so I noticed that you guys had a deal where I can buy a certain amount of lessons and get one free. Do you remember what that deal is? I don't have my phone with me, so I can't see it. Okay, that's totally fine. Is the best way for me to pay you via Venmo, or what's the best way for me to go about that? Well, I don't have my phone. So, I mean, I guess, like, you can just text me. Yeah, I can text you, and we can get that squared away. Anyway, it's very nice meeting you.
I like it. What do you take from this video, Erica?
I take it that this is what happens when it became socially unacceptable for parents to say, I will slap that look right off your face, because that's how we grew up.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying that you should hit your children. I'm just simply saying that I
hit
stopped
them until they have the look that you like.
I stopped doing things like that when I realized that there were immediate ramifications for doing things like that. And I have, as my father would say, straightened up and flown right ever since. Because when people look at me, like I call it, with that mouth breather energy, it is so annoying. It's so annoying. And it makes you look so dumb.
It really does. And can I say something else? And this might be really judgy as a millennial, but it's almost like the next generation doesn't want to be inconvenienced in any way.
No.
By asking you a specific question. They don't want to think about it. They don't want to like look it up. And I'm trying not to sound like get off my lawn, but it's a little like, you have a follow-up? Like, I can't be bothered.
I took something different from it. I thought that I was looking directly at a generation that had accessed life only through their
the phone. Yeah.
And because of that, the communication skills that that we all have in this room are there because we needed them. Sometimes you need to flirt with the bouncer to get in. Sometimes you need to like let this person know like, hey, you're going to give us our ball back. We learn different ways to communicate. But if everything, whether it's dating, beefing, homework, job application, everything is through through the phone.
Right.
When somebody's talking to you, it's probably off-putting and
like the
weird.
eye contact.
Like I can feel your breath on me. Like it's probably really strange. Whereas I think for our generation, definitely the generation above, it's very weird to, if you have an issue with somebody, to drive back home and write a comment rather than just being like, I don't think you should talk to me like that. and then you have that conversation there, and then you're done with it. So I just thought it was like an interesting look into just like what it looks like to a whole generation that's only use their phone.
Can I add to that really quickly? I was listening to Esther Perel, who I love, and she was saying so many kids these days are being overly supervised when they play. So when we were playing
I'd agree with
outside,
that.
we had to figure out hierarchy. We had to figure out being bullied. We had to figure out who was going to be the alpha, who was going to be the beta. You had to figure that out as children.
Sometimes
with children.
that was figured out for you.
Yeah, right. But now it's like parents being like, don't do this or don't do that. And so there's no skill that you're learning of how to communicate with friction and tension and fighting or if there's an issue. So now you're right. There's just a blank stare of communication that you're not used to having, just like one-on-one communication.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Well, I mean, I think that, as somebody that has had a night job for all of my kids' lives, I was the one that took them to the park. And so I was with them during the day, and going to places like the park, that's what really struck me.
Yeah.
Is their parents on the play structure.
They're right there.
On the droopy bridge, with the kids. And I'm like, that kid can walk.
Yeah, let him try
if it's not like a 6-month-old or something,
Right.
it's like, but they're like, oh, now Tori, give him the shovel.
Yeah.
Okay, he's playing.
Right.
Even when they're trying to mirror and show the right behavior, it's like some of that needs to be learned, and it's just like
and fail.
Yeah,
and
your
learn again.
Parents like this creepy voyeur, like Sharon Stone and Sliver.
God,
Okay.
that movie was so
Oh my gosh.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wasn't that movie crazy?
I haven't seen it in
With
forever.
Daniel Baldwin.
Oh, yeah, it
It
was.
was the other Baldwin.
Eric.
Who was the other Baldwin? Alex, Stephen, Daniel. I think I'm making
I think it was Stephen. I don't
it
know.
wasn't Stephen.
All right. Well, I digress. We're going to keep it moving. And what we're going to talk about now, as my phone locked, is something I'm excited about. And that would be, does what you wear matter? To three of the most, we look like we have no relation to each other.
Yeah.
We're all going to different places.
I bet
Yeah.
you Dude IDK is going to get some like pushback with him. Like, don't try and like intercut two different podcasts and try and make them one. Like, we look like we should be on a JG Wentworth commercial. Those random ass commercials.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Erica,
yes.
you hire people. Does it matter?
Well, for what I'm hiring them for, no. But
You sound like you work at a strip club.
so I have a production company. Everyone works from home, so they can wear whatever they want. However, when we've traveled together, there is like a company shirt that we wear when we're like on site actually producing things. And then if there's like an event, then everyone is expected to wear like either a suit or a dress or, something that's like business casual or business type attire, just because of who our clients are. But generally I'm not walking around generally I do get dressed to come here. Today was just a very busy day, so I'm just wearing what I wore to the gym. So my apologies for that, mainly for what I might smell like. Yeah, I'm very particular about dressing because I do think that there's a Gladys Knight quote, dressing up is how you show respect for your audience. But I think that dressing up is also how you show respect for the place that you're at. And like, for instance, we went out to dinner at a nice restaurant this week, and we were with, my husband and I and another couple that we were with. Everyone was dressed very nicely, because it was a respect to where we were at. And I think we've lost the art of showing up fully. And it's like, it's enough for us just to be there. I really want to tell people sometimes, like, you are not that special. I don't know what your mama, daddy, or somebody told you, but you are not, your presence is not more special than the occasion that other people might be here for. So I do think it's important how you show up in the world.
All right, Tori?
I gotta agree. Erica kind of taught me this because I when she said you show up and it shows respect, I think that changed my way of looking at how I show up places. I tended to show up in sweatpants and looked a little unhoused sometimes when I was, remember in DBL where you'd make a lot of fun of me? Yeah. So I think that it's important to step it up. And I also think it shows off, it sends an energy to your day. I think it comes before you. If I show up looking like something and I don't say anything, I still look ready.
Yeah,
think
you
that's
are when
important.
you walk through the door, it's kind of like people understand this when it comes to social media because obviously we're always on our phones. You have 3 seconds to make an impression, whether people are going to stick around and take you seriously. So if you only have 3 seconds to make an impression, why are you putting yourself at a loss? Like I used to go back and forth with my husband because he is, has a very professional job and he's required to dress a certain way when he goes into the office. So when he goes anywhere else, he's like, well, this is my time. But then I was very, like I was very forward with him to say, well, then you can't come with me because you're lowering my stock in my value in that moment. Like I've taken the time to do my hair, my makeup, I've gotten my outfit picked out, I've accessorized, and then you are putting on, pants that have a drawstring on them. Like it just doesn't, like it does a disservice to you. And especially for the younger generation, you have to understand when you're showing up to represent someone else, you got to represent yourself first. You have to show that you respect yourself first before anyone else is going to believe that you're going to respect what they have going on.
Right. And I think that there's a lot of people watching, and I'm sure they're like, well, it doesn't matter because they'll see my talent, or I don't care, nothing's going to stop me. You don't know who's in the room, and everybody ain't you. For as much as I think if anybody down here was about to hire somebody and they weren't 100% dressed to the nines, you could probably look past it. If you did decide to hire them, you'd tell them after, like, hey, we do, pants and a shirt here, so next time. But other people are not so forgiving, and you'll never know. You just won't get the call back.
Yeah, my dad would judge you, like, for
Yeah.
sure. In an interview, you're not, within seconds, like Erica said, you're not going to make it. You just won't make it. You've already lost him.
Yeah, you've already lost him. And it's just like, it's the things of like, it's a much bigger problem. I think it's hard for people to understand that other people aren't them. And they go, I don't care if you smoke a joint at this party, Erica, I don't care if you get drunk at this party. Somebody does. Somebody there that might have some hiring decisions might see you up for something and, hey, Tori smokes a lot. You just never know what's going on. So you should always comport yourself in a way that, unless you are with family and it's a very relaxed situation, always just like level up, because you just don't know who's there and you don't know what they're thinking.
But last thing I'll say is, and this is, I'm sorry to say this, but I think remote working has really changed the way people show up, because they show up and they're going to work in their kitchen or their living room, and it's like, why am I getting dressed up? So I do think remote has changed.
Do you
a
think
generation.
that wakes your mind up, though, to put on some clothes?
Yeah, I think I guess it depends on what type of remote work you're doing. I saw an Instagram post where this woman was like, basically it was like 50-50 whether people agreed with her or not. But she talked about, she hired this young lady, and when she did the hiring, she had on something that was like a business casual type thing. And then when they would get on to the Zoom, she was wearing a hoodie with the hood up. Well, the issue is that they were going into forward-facing meetings with clients. So the idea that you don't have discernment to know that showing up on camera with a client as a forward-facing person with a hoodie up is inappropriate, that's also telling your employer something else about your discernment in other
What
areas.
else don't you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
This
what
is
I
true.
always
What
think.
else is
Yeah.
true? Yeah.
Because if you are told one time, and for me, I don't like to repeat myself, especially when I'm paying people. So if I tell someone, hey, you know what, I get that this may not have been clear, but let me be clear about it, and then it happens again, then I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of at the point where I'm not doing, 1, 2, 3 times anymore. If I'm paying you, I expect that you change whatever it is that isn't working for the company, because at that point it's not about you, it's about everybody else that this company is putting food on the table for. And I'm not going to allow hoodie girl to mess that up for this woman over here and her 3 kids.
Right.
So it just comes down to that.
Right. But, Erica, I think that what you're saying is very true and very accurate, but I think it flies in the face of what we are shown. Whenever you watch a movie or you watch an inspirational story, the Tori show, it's like, Tori was the first woman to wear jeans that would be shown as like, you saw the status quo and you were like, I'm me and I don't care. And I think that's it applies to a lot of different situations. But I think whenever somebody's asked to change something, there is this weird underlying mentality of like standing up for yourself would be to tell you, I'm going to continue to wear my hoodie. They don't see it as being part of a company. They see that company is trying to take away from their individualism, which is incorrect, because you're trying to be a part of that company's payroll.
Right.
But you're not willing to give up anything in return. You still get to do everything exactly the same.
Have you noticed, because I've been noticing this more and more, people have, obviously, I do think for as emotionally unintelligent as some people have been very forward facing as, I think that the emotional intelligence and people going to therapy and understanding like themselves and other people, I feel like there's an amplification on both sides. Like, I don't know what's happening in the middle, but it's skyrocketed on those two sides of the pendulum. And what I've been noticing is that people are very protective and also very vocal about their boundaries, which I think is a really great thing. But it's completely devoid of the idea that other people have boundaries too.
Right.
So it prioritizes their boundaries without ever considering the boundaries and needs and feelings of others. And it's a complete disconnect in the society. I am so sick of hearing about people's boundaries and what they're going to do and what they not going to do. You know what? If you want to do that and suffer the consequences of it, that's totally fine. But there are consequences. And that's what we're not talking about, because people like me have decided I'm not going to repeat myself. So now you'll just learn the same things over and over until someone finally cares enough, because time is money, honey. So you're not getting these messages because people don't care enough to spend another moment of their time to correct you and to let you know that other people have feelings and expectations and boundaries too.
Right.
And that's why there's a disconnect.
Well, Tori, yeah, that's what I was saying about other people can't understand that other people aren't them.
It's the individual over the group.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's in a weird way, and this is kind of what one of our epic fights on DBL about what was it about you time, something that I said was related to women that was a toxic positive phrase, self-care. We're using positive, sometimes professional medical terms like boundaries. That sounds like something a child psychologist will tell you, have boundaries.
Yeah.
And so you're all these things that you're armoring yourself with, positive words that you can listen to a clinician and they'll say to do this. You don't realize that there has to be some give and take to interact with the world. It's almost like the way that you'll hear like libertarians or something. They'll just be like, I don't want to pay for schools. I don't want to pay for stuff I don't use. People don't understand like this whole society, stoplights. You go to a baseball game, somebody's filled up the soda machines. Somebody's cleaned up since the last. All these things that you don't see that make the world easy to navigate. People don't understand that somebody sacrificed to do that. All they do is they're like, I'm showing up for me. Like, oh, good for you.
Yeah, it used to be a tribal thing, right? We used to do what's best for the group, what's best for the tribe. I mean, that's an ancient culture. That's most of the world still does that, tribalism. So it's odd that America, and I don't know if it's the West, but it's all about the individual. It's about me, me, me. And that goes back to the stare. It's not like, how do I communicate with you? How do I share this moment with you? How do I help you make this transaction easier? It's like, what are you asking me to do? I don't know that. It's like, you got to think of the group.
Right.
You got to think of the group, or else you're out of a job.
Right.
Period. Like Erica said.
It's a much longer conversation,
Yeah.
but I just I think that the marketing to the individual has
It's
usurped, and then now it's just like our native tongue.
You're like
but like everybody needs to understand, like, you're not that special. Join the herd.
Join the
Pick
tribe.
a herd and go that way,
Yeah.
because the idea of you having a movie made about you because you're the person that didn't take no nothing is not going to happen.
I'm going to take no
You're
nothing.
just like Erica said, you're going to lose out on a lot of jobs. people aren't going to want to hang with you because there's never any, I'm advocating for myself. I want to go to
yes.
this restaurant and know, oh, that's very noble of you to advocate for yourself. Erica does it for children she doesn't know.
Right.
I would say that's arguably more admirable.
Right.
But people think when they take a word like advocate, they sneak the word themselves onto it and they don't realize it's like the word but in a sentence. It negates the thing that came before it.
Exactly. And we're getting more and more away from the group and the herd, and it's bad for our communities, bad for ourselves.
Well, also, there's like a sense of fatigue, too. It's like the advocators are stopping the advocacy in some places and in some spaces. Like, it is exhausting to be an advocator and not have anyone willing to meet you where you are.
Right.
Like, it's exhausting. And it's also like...
And it's never appreciated.
Exactly. So I think that we really do, while people are still engaged and we're able to do things as a community, people really have to think about that. Because also, what are the resources that advocators have? They have community because they've shown up consistently. And if you're not a part of that, then there won't be anybody for you when you need
That's
it.
right.
Right.
That's right.
Very true. All right, Michael Dean, do you have one unpopular opinion? That conversation went 10 more minutes than I thought it would. I'm
It's all
glad we
good.
had it.
Let's start with just one.
We got time.
Okay. If you don't like homemade gifts, you're a bad person.
If you don't like homemade gifts, you're a bad person. I have a feeling that you're not going to like half the homemade gifts that you're given. Unless this person's close to you, it's probably going to be the homemade gift you get, Tor.
I made a lot of bad
Is
gifts.
gonna,
Last minute.
but whatever it
That
is,
story.
it's going to be what you can do. So,
Yeah, mine was...
Tori, you can do cross stitch on a professional level now. I feel comfortable saying that. But so I think anybody would be happy to get that. But if all I did was kind of like tinker around and make
That's what
mugs with clay, and I'd be like, "This is
No,
for you,"
a clay
like,
mug is lovely.
but not the one I'm gonna make, and
No.
you probably don't want it.
No, the handmade part is what
I wanna
the
see
heart and
Al's clay
soul
mug.
is part of it. You
But
know
you're
what I
not
mean?
gonna use it.
See, I'll say this since you brought up Tori cross-stitching, because Tori cross-stitched a shirt for me with Spike's name on it with a heart, like
That's
to
amazing.
my heart.
May he rest.
And I wear that all
You
the time.
do?
Yes, of course I do.
Erica.
And because that's
her dog,
something
her
that's
lovely dog.
utilitarian, right? Like I'm going to wear it. It fits. It's cute. I like think of Spike when I wear it. It was a very nice gesture from her. She spent a lot of time on it. But then it's like you get something and it's like, oh, what is this? And it's like just another thing that's like in your house of things. And you're like, what do I do with this? And so I think you need to really know who you're giving it to. So
Right.
it's something, not something that you're just like, I want to give this to you. It's more like, I thought of you. And this seems like something that you really would enjoy or would experience.
But a home gift is just gonna be like, I make wind chimes.
I like wind chimes.
And I don't. But that person is going to give us both wind chimes.
Right.
So
Know
now
your
I have to
audience.
figure out what to do with them.
Yeah.
And like, you don't want to throw them away except for like years later.
You know who's really sick of homemade gift? I bet dads. Because Father's Day is a lot of
Right.
crappy handmade, crappy ties, bad.
Do you remember the
Like
gifts
weird,
you gave your dad as a
they're
kid?
awful. I gave my dad an elephant for his like rings and stuff, and it was like crooked, and he still has it, and that's really sweet.
Yeah.
His trunk was made for his like rings.
Do
I
you
feel like it was
think
a lot of soap on a rope.
It doesn't look good.
I know it's bad because we live under the umbrella of capitalism, but do you think that we should all agree on an age where you don't need gifts anymore?
yes.
Because,
Wait,
dude,
what?
Yeah,
I don't
I-
need anything now.
Yeah.
What do you
I-
need, Tori? Like, what do you need?
I guess I don't.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I feel like my house is like I'm drowning in my home. I am going to have a home editor come to my house so that I can get rid of everything because it's too much
too much
stuff.
stuff,
We
yeah.
have our consumerism is out of control. I purposely Very rarely. That's why I give like a bottle of wine, or I
Oh,
take
that's
someone
great, though.
out to lunch or dinner, because I'm thinking your house probably looks like mine, where I have a drawer that has, or actually 2 drawers that has almost 50 candles in it. What do I do? What do I now? I've
Well, when the
started to
economy collapses.
re-gift
Yeah.
the candles, to other people, because I'm like, do you like candles? I have a lot of candles, or whatever it might be.
Erica.
I had a friend, I was like, please do not give me anything else.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And what does she give me? She gave me a meat guillotine.
What?
What is that?
Why are you giving me? You know what a guillotine is, where they put the head
The
in and they
Lorena
chop
Bobbitt
it.
collection? What
Yeah.
is that?
So you put the meat in there and then you chop it.
Can't use a knife?
That's how I traditionally did it.
I think the whole
But
world's
no,
been on
now, now I have this thing which I immediately gave to my brother, because I was like, I don't know how else to tell you that just because you want to give me something doesn't mean that I want to accept it. Especially, there's nothing special about a meat
That's
guillotine.
so unnecessary.
Now you're spending money just for you to feel better,
Yeah.
because I've said a million times, let's stop with the gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The meat guillotine is weird. I will say this. The guillotine was used until 1977.
What?
So when the first Star Wars came out, people were still getting guillotined.
That's insane.
Just so you guys know.
Guillotine in, the
In France.
70s.
1977. Look it up.
Yo, the
Baby.
World, yeah, the world was gangster. So Tori, would you be down with the end of it? What about no gifts after 30? So 31, nothing.
I like gifts.
That's honest. That's
I think
honest.
gift giving was my family's love language
Yeah.
for us, and I think that's where I see it. But I do have Erica's in mind, because I have no room for anything, not one thing. It's bursting, and it makes you uncomfortable. It makes you
Yes.
cluttered in your
Feels like
brain.
you're
and
drowning.
stuff.
In every drawer.
It's too much stuff. I don't need 3 levels. I have 14 levels.
That was one of the things. I mean, when Erica, you were talking about your house is packed. When I moved from my house to Sarah's condo, just trying to just pare down.
It's so hard.
I
my
did.
gosh.
I
It
was
is so
getting
hard.
and you feel terrible because you're throwing away stuff. And you're like, I know I paid $27 for this.
Totally.
But it's just like, you have 7 wine openers
I
at your
don't need
house.
another.
You have face towels that you've never gotten close. They're like levels to the drawer that you'll never get that low to. I really feel like you could probably get by with like 51 things total in your life.
I agree.
And all this other stuff just starts to just fill up the garage, fill up drawers where now you don't even go in there because it's so cluttered. You're just like, oh,
I don't
want
wanna
to
go in
pens
there.
and
Totally.
like, sewing kits. Like,
So
what are we
much
doing?
tape. I have so much tape. Does
Yeah.
everyone have
Yeah.
tape? I have a lot of tape.
I don't even buy clothes anymore,
So much
that
tape.
like, unless it's a very special or specific occasion. I'm like, I think I'm going to rent the runway for the rest of my life.
know what you mean.
Because I don't even have the space. We have several my dad came and stayed with us, and he goes, "You have clothes in every single one of your closets." And I said, "Yes, because this is my house."
I like the way she
That's
talks
awesome,
to Rosa.
yeah.
about-
So I can have clothes on the roof if I want to.
Yeah.
But he did have a point. I need to get rid of some of this stuff.
And
so
I'm supposed
I'm
to
like,
take Judy's stuff now. My late mom stuff. And I got flower pants. I got bright pink pants.
And you're never
the
gonna-
woman couldn't stop buying. I mean, I love my mother. She's my best friend, but I have 184 pashminas. I'm never gonna need that many
Yeah, or
ever.
4.
I need one. I need
Yeah.
one pashmina.
It's I know people are like, oh well, it sounds like you had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is not. We're not talking about just all high end stuff.
No.
Can we stop 5Ks? We don't need any more T-shirts. I know it's important, but all these like
As you wear a
fundraisers-
mariachi's
but at least this is
Albuquerque
a jersey.
Yeah, it is cool.
But it's just like everything you do is like a T-shirt, and it's good. Oh, this is for the United Way 2014. You don't want to throw it away because you're like, that was a good day. But then it's just like you're never gonna wear it.
I have a
Hey,
Michigan
go upstairs
shirt.
and put on that United Way shirt I like.
Wait,
Oh my
where is
God.
that 2014 United Way shirt? I have to remember. Oh,
So
Lord.
yes, if that's our message to the world, then
Get
we're gonna
less
leave,
stuff, use less
get less
stuff.
stuff, and give less stuff, and just like go out for a meal, go out for some wine,
Recycle.
Yeah, I don't know where that came.
No,
in.
just recycle your clothing too.
Yeah, but now thrift stores are expensive.
Yeah.
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 All right. And that's going to do it for 3 old people bitching. I've been Al Jackson. Thank y'all for watching Daytime Talk After Dark. I've been joined by the lovely Tori Shulman, the incredible Erica Cobb, Michael Dean over there holding us down. We appreciate you, boy.
Thank you.
Hey, Night Owls.
Hoot hoot.